Good morning, my friends. It's Friday, March 15, 2024. I, of course, am Hamworth Originator. Success through the daily mortgage rate update, the only place on the web where you guys get to join me live as we chat about what's going on with the mortgage markets, rates, and pricing. Remember, you can join me live each and every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, at least each every weekday. As I do this, if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to give me a hashtag replay. So many of you do, and I do appreciate that. I definitely do. It gives me an idea of who's actually watching and who cares. So, because you get a lot of views, but I know they're not real views. So, anyway, don't forget to smash that like button if you're on Facebook. Tag an hello friend, share us in a group. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, you can sign up to get written email lock advice to your inbox each and every weekday morning. www.ratelockadvice.com. Send out absolutely free of charge. You can also sign up for our text alerts at $7 a month. www.ratetextalerts.com. And you can find out how we help you get loans from Google and social media. We've got a demo on demand. It's, I think, about 15 or 18 minutes long. Check it out at originatorssuccess.com. If you need more business, we're here to help you to get it. So go check that out. In the meantime, let's say hi to our live folks here. Who do we got here this morning? It's quick and early this morning. We got Tim Kyla and Ron Siegel. Good morning, y'all. Kelly Cargill, Scott Menser. Great to have you. Megan Lindberg. Great to see you here. Deb Dickinson. Hello. Ron said, we are here, but it is early in SoCal, so maybe not present. I don't blame you, sir, because it's got to be, 6:30 out there. So, because it is Pacific Daylight Time, also known as PDT, not PST. I wish we just get rid of this whole thing altogether. I woke up this morning and until like 7:30, it was still freaking pitch black. I felt like it was in the middle of the night. I hate daylight savings time. I really do. I will admit this time of year, it's nice to pick up a little extra time in the evening, but as I could do without it. I really could. I'd rather get a little bit of a break on the day. So, and it is dark outside this morning because it is raining and kind of miserable out here this morning. So good morning, Ms. Brickler. Good morning, Lisa Bollinger, Michael Love, Mallory Fotiadis. Ron, you're 3 hours behind me, so I would hope that it's still dark by you, my friends. So, all right, y'all, let's get deep into it. Let's talk about what we got going on this morning. Start off with rate sheets. Rate sheets, once again, going to be worse. Continuing the trend. Hey, check this out, by the way. This is not throwing stones at anybody. It's just showing you how this stuff can differentiate, right? Can be different. So, MBS Highway, Barry Habib's team, they're following the 6% coupon, and it's at 100.40, and they show down 9 basis points on the day. You've got Rate Alert following the 6% coupon, showing 100.42, so pretty close, right? I mean, that's fine. That's because they're actually not in basis points. They're always in whatever. They're 11 basis points, so not too far off, right? Then you got MBS Live, and I'm following the 5.5 coupon right now, but even if we go to that 6, it's 100.38, which 100.40, not too far, 19 basis points. So you've got 9 and 19. This can really throw you off. Well, what's the difference? Depends on what time you want to say it ended yesterday. Here we say yesterday ended at 100.55. And for MBS Highway, they may be ending the day kind of drawing the line at a different time. So their pluses and minuses are slightly different. I just bring this up to show y'all this stuff is definitely important, but it's not the end all do all be all, like live by it and die by it and by the sword kind of a thing. So anyway, we'll probably end up switching to the 6 soon if we don't see some more movement here. But 5.5, according to Matt Graham over at MBS Live, when he puts that little star here, that means that's the one that's got the most trading volume, and that's why we're still following that one. So Ron said, was there a coupon rollover yesterday? No, that was earlier. It's always around the 10th, Ron. That was earlier in the week. But they've been so insignificant, I haven't even talked about them. The movement in bonds has been so small from coupon to coupon. It hasn't really been anything that's even remotely, it's barely affected charts. So nothing to worry about at all. All right. So taking a look here, what you can see is this is fun if you're going skiing. Start at the top of the mountain, ski your way down to the bottom. This is not fun if you are a mortgage person and you want mortgage rates to be improving. The reality is we're not seeing mortgage rates improve. Look at this 5-day trend, y'all. We were up here, and it has just been boom. All right. Same thing for the 10-year Treasury. Look at this. Let's move this over and make this a 10-year Treasury line chart. And remember, yield is the opposite of pricing. So same thing, started low, and it's just been up, bigger up, and today moving up. 10-year Treasury yield now at 4.31. 4.31. We were down to 4.08. That was the low point just a little while ago, 4.08. Same thing here. I don't want to give you a big dose of I told you so, But I did say that I thought we would see rates slip heading into the meeting, and that's continuing to happen. Now, that's about as far as I could see. Even if I put on my glasses, I can't see any farther than that. I don't know what's going to happen at next week's meeting. Let's talk a little bit about next week's Fed meeting. Before we get there, though, reprice risk on the day is moderate. Here's to hoping that we don't see a big sell-off, but we did see some reprices yesterday. There were quite a few, and it got a little ugly. Good morning, Yasmin. Good morning, Mike Tebow, Mike Morano, Dan Spancers. Great to see all of you. The advice remains, as it has been the last few days, to lock anything closing within the next month and cautiously float anything longer than that. But even that, there's definitely some risk to it. Let's take a look here and see. I want you guys, do you see what I see? It's only March, and I feel like, ooh, look at that. Zoom. All I want to do is zoom. Let me turn this on and do this again. All right. So looking at Bloomberg, I mean, this is the big thing, right? This is an article, Fed seen sticking with 3 2024 cuts despite higher inflation. Well, that's a very kind of uplifting article. That's what we want to see happen. Remember in December when the Fed did their dot plot where all the different Fed members, and how many Fed members? Is it 18 or 19? I think it's 19. 12. No, that's the FOMC, but all of them. How many Fed members? Dot plot. Let's see. 19. Yeah, so it's 19. Hello, kitty. Oh, Millie wants to say hi, y'all. What are you doing? You're being noisy. We're on camera. Listen, if you're not going to perform, then stop being annoying. She wants to play. Kitten. Anyway, 19 Fed officials. The dot plot last time around. Basically, they were betting on the end of 24 to have 3 rate cuts, the end of 25 to have 4 rate cuts. There's a lot of question on whether that's going to happen this time around. This is a good article. Fed seen sticking with 3 2024 cuts despite higher inflation. And then they give the economists' forecasts of Fed projections, right? So where the Fed funds rate will be. They think 2024, 2025, 2026, longer run, right? So they think it would come down to, 2.5%. They think it's like 3%, 3.5%, 4.5%. GDP, where they think unemployment's going to go. Everyone thinks unemployment's going to go to 4.1. Isn't it amazing how it's a straight line that everyone thinks unemployment will be and stay at 4.1? Gee, does anyone think it might be manipulated? PCE is supposed to drop. Core PCE is supposed to drop. That's all happy horseshit is the honesty here. Let's go deeper in the article though. Fed seen sticking with 3 rate cuts despite higher inflation. Let's hope we could say that next Thursday. So we're going to get the Fed meeting on Wednesday, and we're going to get the press conference. Now, the chances of the Fed raising or lowering the Fed funds rate at this meeting is basically 0. Okay, that's a totally expected thing. Fed futures 99%. Ron said, what data is Bloomberg using? How old is it since the Fed members are in their quiet period? And did that include PPI, et cetera? Ron, it is a news publication. So I don't know any of that. And those are all very valid things. But at the end of the day, even if we take that out of play, this is just people's response and reaction. Now, I kind of agree with it though, but I'm afraid of the opposite. And I'll tell you why. When we look at the dot plot, there were only 2. Let me get the dot plot up here for you. There were only 2 extra people here that gave us a 4.5 for the year. If we see just a little bit of swing, and that they think that the Fed doesn't have to cut rates, and there's a lot of hawkishness on that board, we could see that the expectation, instead of being 3 rate cuts, could move to 2. It's very, very likely. Now, the dot plot could move to 2, and Powell in his press conference could say, but we think one of those 2 is going to happen, soon. Remember, he was quoted recently as saying that they just needed to see more. They wanted more validity, more strength, more continuation of seeing that. Sorry, I got the hiccups. They wanted just a bit more evidence before making an initial rate cut. We're not far from it, he told lawmakers. So this is what we're trying to hang our hat on right now. This is what Powell said. He said in congressional testimony last week, Powell emphasized the central bank has made good progress in nudging inflation toward its 2% target and needed just a bit more evidence. The problem is we haven't gotten that evidence the last two reports, neither consumer or wholesale inflation. That PPI report came in much hotter than expected. So did last month's. The CPI came in a little bit hotter than expected on the month-to-month. The annual still going down, but the month-to-month moving up. The PCE was not all that exciting, and that's the Fed's favorite gauge of inflation as well. So none of this really pointing to where the Fed needs to cut rates. Now, when we look at Fed futures and we go back to this, right now, the Fed basically markets are betting no move in March, no move in May. That has now gone to look at this, 91%. So there's less than a 10% expectation that we would see any kind of a rate cut or rate move in May. And exactly, it's just not likely. June, it's creeping up. It's getting worse. It was a 60% expectation. Now it's down to 55%. However, as we head into that Fed meeting, if this expectation of a June cut, March will be out of the way. That means we got two meetings, May and June. And if they don't think we're going to see a cut in June, if that goes up to 60, 70, 80% likely that it's going to stay the same, not cut, but stay the same, well, rates are going to creep higher. It's just the move that it goes in that direction. Take a look at that 10-year Treasury yield right now. 10-year Treasury yield, 4.31. What does that reflect? It reflects the idea that the Fed is not chopping rates anytime soon. We have seen, look at how this candlestick, look at how just it bounced all the way up. And now we're testing. This is where we were before, 4.32. We're testing those highs, 4.32. 4.32. We're right about there. 4.31, 4.32. We are testing those levels once again. The question is, will they stop here? Or will this yield push above that? And when was the last time we saw that yield above that? Well, it goes all the way back to November. And remember, October, right over here, these were the worst rates that we saw when that 10-year Treasury yield was up and it hit 4.91. It was flirting with 5, 4.91, 4.85, all those highs that we were seeing as it was flirting with 5. Now, I don't think we're going to get that bad again, but I do think we could see this give up the ghost a little bit. We could see a new high here. We're going to have to wait and see. And that's why, as the advice is down there, I mean, what a difference from a week, 2 weeks ago, right? We had so much hope. We got that labor data. The number of jobs created came in high, but the revisions for the previous months were huge, lower, and we saw higher unemployment and we saw lower wage growth. So those were all good signals that we could see some movement. Then this other data, though, not showing it, not coming in enough to help us out. Definitely putting us in a bad position. The loans with time, you'll probably see a bounce and a rebound again. So loans with 30 plus days, that's why I'm not panicking. I mean, we think of it. We were up here, we were at 99.84. Now we're at 90. Let me put this back to the 5.5 seconds. Now went from 99.84 to, come on, I want you here. There we go, to 98.75. So we've gone over 100 basis points in the last few days. We've given up all those gains that we saw on rate sheets. Let me make this full screen so I can get you because it's weird. They don't have there it is. Okay. Now let me put it back. All right. So here we are, 7.02. We were as low as those little, this is back where we were here, 7.25. Then they got better, dropped into that 6 to 7/8 range. Now back up, will probably be about 7.25. It's probably we're gonna hopefully where we cap out. So we've just been pushing in that range. Again, not enough to get anybody excited, but also enough to at least you can point to some stability to your borrowers. Keep that in mind. So as it comes for the day today, though, down 27 basis points, certainly nothing that we're going to get excited about. And hopefully it stops, the bleeding stops there. Yesterday, we were down 50 basis points. Not good at all. The outlook, if we do see the Fed start to give up the ghost on, and say, hey, we only see 2 rate cuts. And again, we only need 2 people to go. And we could see markets continue idea that the Fed is only going to cut twice this year. Right now, when we look at Fed futures and we go to December, it's barely a winner that we're going to get 3 cuts. 35%, we'll call it. We're going to round them to fives. 35% 25% one way, 25% the other. What happens is if we see a shift, these guys move over here, these guys move over here, and then all of a sudden we're expecting to only see 4 3/4. Markets will continue to worsen on that. So unfortunately, we can't be looking for rates to save things right now. However, where did I see that damn article this morning? Was it Wall Street Journal? Oh crap! I should have done a better job. No, I think it was Bloomberg. Let me go to Bloomberg again. Let's see if I can find it in this version. If not, I have it on my iPad and I'll find it. But here it is. This is what I wanted. American debt. I hear you, baby, but I'm busy. I can't play with you. I'm telling everybody how bad all the rates are. American debt stings like never before in new era for households. This one talks about how that credit card woes are souring Americans on the economy and could be a drag on Joe Biden's reelection bid. I don't want to get into the political piece on this, but the point is we have a lot of debt. Look at the interest payments going up. What we need is even a small shift in rates to help people come to terms and push them off the fence. You need to be ready to reach out to your clients and anyone else and get referrals for debt consolidation. These low rates, these low mortgages, it's going to get wiped out by debt consolidation. It's going to be, instead of rate, it's going to be about cash flow and loosening that payment. We all know this is happening. My friends over at 2020 talk about it a lot. Chris Vincent over at Windsor Mortgage was talking about it a lot. A lot of the people in the industry are really, really focusing on this. And it's not because we're desperate. It's because this is where the business is going to be, and it's where consumers are going to have a need and a desire. There's a lot of home equity. That's not likely to change. And people are going to find themselves in a position where they need to relieve this burden, this big financial burden. In fact, for the first time on record, interest payments on other non-mortgage debts are as big a financial burden as mortgage interest payments. And this is just a matter of saying, hey, I know that you're emotionally attached to a 2, 3, 3.5, whatever percent mortgage. But when you're paying 27% on credit cards, well, and you could bring 27% down to 7%, that's a huge difference, right? And when you start talking about how, again, you see it. So we're at 17 minutes, 18 minutes, and I'm going to wrap it up. What do you guys think? Do you guys think there'll be a lot of business coming up? Do you think this is where the refis will be in 2024, second half of the year? Do you think this will help keep us afloat as well as keep borrowers? The other thing too is that'll help everything to kind of normalize again, get some higher interest rates out there, which will eventually turn into homes moving around and things like that. This is part of that 3-year, I'll call it a 3-year program where we need to see rates go higher so we can see inventory start to loosen up and move around again. So what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. I want to know what you guys think. Also, what are you doing this Friday? I'm going to go play poker tonight. And then tomorrow I'm going to attack that honeydew list like a madman. Got a bunch of stuff I want to get done. However, yesterday I came home from Atlanta and it was freaking gorgeous. Today it is fog and rain, and it's supposed to rain a lot of the weekend. So kind of puts a damper on it, but I'll be out there. Ron said 19 members, 12 vote. Yeah, Ron, that's what I thought too. I always forget is 18 or 19 though. And I do know about the 12 voting. So come on, y'all. Is anyone around? Let me know. Give me some comments. Talk to me. What do you guys think? Do you think things are going to get better or worse? What do you think next week's meeting is going to be? That's all I'm going to be able to talk about as we head into next week, right? Dan, you're shoveling snow? Oh, dude, I'm so in spring mode already. Mike said 50% of your business cash out HELOCs, bank statement loans. Yeah. Deb's having a bonfire, beautiful in Seattle this weekend. Well, Deb, I hope it is wonderful for you. If you're stealing my good weather, I hope you do great things with it. Paul said a good debt consolidation analysis can show borrowers that they can improve their finances. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not taking anything away. Like MBS Highway has an awesome calculator. I think MBS Live might even. There's a bunch of them out there, but you can even use a regular spreadsheet. I would use my Remarkable. That's my style. I use that for everything. Listen, baby, I hear you, but they're busy. Anyway, I'm with you. Ashley said this year I'm seeing more buyers. Just go for it. Pent up demand has worn them down. That's true too. That's true too. Very good. Ashley's 80 degrees in Florida, hopping on a cruise boat for the kiddos spring break. Oh, spring break. Crazy. Well, y'all have fun. Ron, upper 70s. Hopefully no rain for you in California, my friend. You guys have had some killer rain. Deb said worse before better, but buyers are tired of waiting. Yeah, you know what? That's such a great thing. Good notes on your iPad. I did just buy an iPad recently, Ron, and I still use my Remarkable. I have both now. My plan was to get rid of the Remarkable and go with the iPad. I'm going to try Good Notes because I haven't found anything I like. Look at this beautiful cover I have. I got this on Etsy. I've got the one for my Remarkable too. Really nice. I love nice thick leather. This is hand done. Very cool. So, all right, my friends, and I say that not lightly. Thank you so much for joining me. Please join me on Monday. I will see you then. Until then, keep your fingers crossed. Have a good one. Bye-bye.